Hey buddy, welcome back to the channel. Well, starting off guys, I really have to apologize at the start of this video. First off, I will rage for just a little bit about carriers and the so-called CV rework. But don't worry, I will be my old charming Viking self in the end. Also, I wanna apologize for yet another Mikhail Kutuzov video. I'm really sorry about that. I'm always kind of trying to have a bit of variation and diversity on this channel. Trying to feature as many types of ships and ship lines as possible. But the fact that this is yet another Kutuzov video also kind of plays into the subject of this video, the CV rework. Because I've been playing this game since closed beta testing, and I play this game pretty much on a daily basis. So yeah, I played a couple of games. And I feel like the so-called CV rework just have pretty much destroyed this game that I love so much and have played for so long. I mean, I feel like this isn't really World of Warships anymore. This is perhaps World of Warplanes or World of Carriers or something. Because every time when I sit in port these days, trying to select what ships to play next game, there is actually just one thought that going through my head. A while back, when I was sitting in port deciding what ship to play next game, I was always thinking, okay, I haven't played this ship in a while, this would be really fun to try. Oh, I really want to play a destroyer, so I'm gonna try out this one. Or, hey, I haven't played battleships in a while. So I always choose the ship depending on how I felt that day and what I wanted to try. Maybe try a new DD tactic or something. These days it's only one thought that goes into my head. And that is, will this ship survive a 2 carrier per team game? And if that answer to that question is no, well, keep on collecting dust in port, because I won't play you. And the problem is that in my port, which is quite full, I have a lot of ships, a lot of premiums, a lot of destroyers, battleships and cruisers. I have pretty much all the lines, all the nations. And there is about maybe 15-20% of the ships in my port that would have the potential to actually survive a 2 carrier per team game. And I mean, that is just bullshit in my world, because that means about 80% of the ships I will never play, because there is just too big of a risk that I will become just a farming damage buffet for a couple of carrier players. And that is why this is another Kutuzov game, because Kutuzov is actually one of the few ships in my port that I feel comfortable going into a match with 2 carriers per team, which, as you can see, this game is. And that is because the Kutuzov is one of the most feared heavily AA spec cruisers in the game. But as you will see later on in this game, that little fact doesn't actually matter so much. these days after the CV rework. Because CVs, even if they are same tier and sometimes even lower tier than you, and you play a heavily AA spec cruiser, they can still just attack you with impunity. Sure, they will lose a couple of planes now and then, but in the end, they will win. And that is also just a fact that boggles my mind, pretty much. So, if I would ever try and play one of the other 80% of the ships, I will pretty much need to just conform myself into playing the great lemmintrain, just hugging my teammates, following them around the map, ending up wherever those great lemmintrains end up in the end. And just trying to survive the game pretty much by sharing the same anti-aircraft aura as my teammates. And pretty much just limit myself to playing very boring and defensive. Just trying to avoid the fight, trying to avoid getting focused by the two carriers. And I mean, how fun is that? There is so many ships I would like to play. I mean, how long can I play just 15% of my ships without getting bored with this game altogether? But I mean, this is one of the most strongest AA cruisers in the game, and while the game progresses, you will see how many attacks I have to endure. And they are pretty relentless. I mean, there is no breathing time between the attacks. And I'm playing a heavily AA spec cruiser with defensive AA. Imagine if I was like a tier 8 Japanese battleship or Japanese cruiser for that matter. Or one of the other many ships with that has pretty mediocre AA rating. I mean, I would be dead in a couple of minutes, and that wouldn't have to depend on me being bad or playing bad in this game. Skill has no factor in this, because I can't really avoid the carriers. They can find me wherever I go on the map, even if I'm a stealthy destroyer. The CVs can find me pretty much wherever I go. Even if I turn off my AA, they will eventually find me because they know where I need to go if I have to have any kind of efficiency in the game. They know I need to go for enemy ships or enemy caps. And that kind of narrows the area down on the map where they need to search to find me. And when they find me, they can just pop their fighters above me, which means I have to pretty much pop my smoke and waste my smoke just to get undetected by the fighters, so they can't just go over and over and attack me 3 or 4 times until I'm crippled or dead. So that means that I need to waste all my smokes just to be able to try and avoid attacks from the carriers. So I can't really use my smokes for anything else. And yeah, I mean, it's just sad what this game has evolved to, pretty much. And I mean, the cruisers I play these days are, as I said, the Kutuzov, I play the Minotaur, I play the Wooster and the Des Moines. I sometimes even try and play the Hindenburg, which is one of my absolute favorite ships in the game, but that ship hasn't really the best AA rating, so the question is, will I survive? And I mean, not even Woosters and Des Moines and Minotaurs, which has insane AA rating, are immune to any kind of carrier drops. I've been dropped so many times in one of those ships. I mean, it's not even funny anymore. Usually, back in the day, those ships were a complete no-fly zone for carriers. And that was pretty much their trait. Their flavor, so to speak. It was their role to play. But nowadays, I mean, they can attack you whenever. I also saw one of Euro last videos. He showcased a slingshot drop that you could make as a carrier against Des Moines, Minotaurs and Woosters, that you pretty much guaranteed you getting 2 citadels per drop on those cruisers without taking any kind of damage to your planes. And that little trait, or you can call it bug or whatever, glitch, is pretty much what I think sums up this so-called CV rework. Yeah, sure, maybe Wargaming will fix that exploit in a couple of years. But then again, how many other those kind of exploits are they? And I mean, it's not like CVs really need those kind of exploits to already just wreck enemy teams. And I think this is also the thing with 2 carriers per game. Look at the team list on the teams right now. I mean, if you have 2 strong CV players on one team and 2 maybe crap or mediocre CV players on the other team, there is no chance in hell that team can win. No chance. Doesn't matter if there are so many good players on that team. If the other team has 2 great CV players, I mean, forget it. They are just too powerful. I mean, we are struggling like crazy this game. And this has been a pretty much uphill battle the entire game for my team. And they just continue to wreck us. And I haven't even been focused by the carriers yet. But I soon will be, because I am not immune in any kind of way. And also this bullshit with the AA sectors. You see, I have my right sector set for priority right now. This is also a kind of a bullshit fuck you from Wargaming. I'm playing World of Warships. I'm into battles between warships, like I'm doing right now with this Miyoko. I mean, I don't have time and I have no interest in dropping this site and this duel I have with this Miyoko to suddenly click a button and change my sector because I have to play this stupid carrier minigame as well and flip my sectors back and forth. And I mean, the carriers can just switch side in a heartbeat with their planes. They can circle around me, switching side, attacking me from the left, the right, the center. And I have to just drop everything, drop dodging torps, drop dodging salvos from battleships, and start to play this this minigame, changing sectors, flipping on and off. I mean, left, right, center, where are the planes? I have to look at the minimap. I can't look at the ships I'm fighting because I need to check what kind of bombers is it? Is it torp bombers? Should I angle in? Should I show broadside? I mean, and what do carrier players have to do? Nothing. I mean, this guy is fucking up really bad. I mean, he's been detected, and now I'm able to shoot at him actually. But that is him just screwing the pooch. He doesn't have to be detected for an entire match. He can sit right in the top corner on his team side, entire map, and still be as effective. I mean, these two guys just probably woken up. I mean, they got charged from our Kagero, who detected them. And so they actually had to wake up a bit and actually move their ships, because they probably sat in the same position the whole game. Didn't bother with anything. And they can attack us. They have probably destroyed many of our ships. But they never had to put their ships in harm's way. They could have been undetected the entire match. But meanwhile, all of us other ships have to... we have to face torp dodging, getting blapped by battleships, getting HE spammed by cruisers. I mean everything, and at the same time we also have to dodge these planes and flipping sectors and turning AA on and off and trying to avoid planes. I mean, look at this. I'm getting torped left, right, center, and I'm using my defensive AA. They don't care. They can strike me, no problem. I mean, this is just bullshit. I have no chance against these two guys. I mean, the only reason they have lost one bit of health is because they fucked up. That is the only reason. I mean, this is just stupid. If Wargaming would implement a thing that I would describe now, I know they would never do it, but if they actually would implement 2 matchmakers in the start of the game, so you can choose if you want to play a matchmaker with carriers in it or without carriers in it. How many players do you guys think, non-CV playing guys, would actually choose the matchmaker with CVs in it? I don't think anyone would. I think the only players that would choose the matchmaker with CVs in it was CV playing players. And that should say something. I don't think anyone thinks this is a good addition to the game. I mean, this is bullshit. Plain and simple. I mean, we managed to win this game for some strange, absurd reason. We actually managed to win this game. But this was an uphill struggle from the get-go, and I was playing anti-air cruiser, and that didn't matter one bit. I mean, think if I was any other ship, I would never have been able to carry this team. And this wasn't my carry alone as well. I mean, I had a great Kagero player on my team that helped a lot. We also had another destroyer on our team that was great. So I'm just saying that I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to play this game with these kind of matches, because it's just boring. Because I can't play any of my favorite ships anymore. I mean, all destroyers. The only destroyer I play these days is pretty much Grossovoy, because it's one of the most feared AA destroyers that can sometimes actually shoot down a few planes, but you still can get dropped. And also I play Harugumo, because that ship is more like a cruiser. So I can just say to my team, I won't go for any caps because I have 7k detection. And then I can just play it like a cruiser and don't really have to be focused by carriers. But if you try and play a regular destroyer, I mean, it's bad enough that you have to face other destroyers, hydros, radar cruisers, radar battleships, hydro battleships, but also be able to be perma-spotted pretty much by these carriers. I mean, have you played Destroyer in Tier 7? There is pretty much 2 destroyers per team in all Tier 5, 6, 7 games. So going for a cap in Tier 7, or Tier 8 for that matter, I mean, seriously, whew. I'm sorry guys, this was a total RageFest, but I just had to get it out. I'm so sorry. And I will try to showcase another ship in the future, but this is pretty much what the wargaming has forced many players to do. Just play AA ships. But a big thank you to the Kagero player on my team. He was a beast. Also Mayhem player, and I actually also want to congratulate the both carrier players on the enemy team, because even though they made my game a living hell, they played it really great. I mean, they really did whatever they could to try and help their team to a win, and I always have to respect that. Even though they are playing carriers and I hate carriers, they played it really well, and we just won this game with a small tiny margin. And it was really down to the last couple of seconds. But all in all, a pretty good game, but I couldn't really say that it was nice to play this game. I mean, it was just a fucking brain bleed. So, sorry about this guys, I will do better in the future. Please leave a like if you feel like it still. And I see you next time. Have a good one. Bye bye.